Hello, everyone. Happy to see you here. Let's start. I think we waited long enough. This call is just to give some brief updates and talk about the first swarm, and let the winners of the Imperial Hackathon, which are working towards that swarm, present their approaches, and then have like some open discussion about it. We have been mainly working on the Shane side on the initial version of the recursive permission delegation system over emissions and curator permissions, which is the foundation that's needed to create economic structure for swarms, where basically you define a high-level goal and then a decentralized assemble of agents starts to develop the competencies that are required to work towards that goal, and they can recursively specialize, meaning that when somebody creates a new competency for the system, then that will likely have further specialization within. Like, for example, when you're trying to find predictions, then somebody could specialize on scraping transcripts of YouTube videos and podcasts to identify predictions within that. And then on top of that, somebody could further specialize by improving the coverage and better extract the predictions, basically a continuous specialization and optimization process to create sort of this multi-scale competency architecture in order to progress towards the goal. The emission aspect is the incentive part of that. So that's the foundation to get things going. And the curator aspect is to regulate that structure, meaning that people can specialize on detecting misalignment and correcting it. And that's the sort of minimal system that is required to what we think will enable actually well-organized swarms that will produce cool things. We have been working together with Samuel from Oxford, which we met at our ETH Oxford hackathon there, to conceive the first swarm. And picking the first swarm is very crucial, or rather picking the first goal of the swarm, because every competency, every specialized agent that is created to work towards that goal is a part that is composable across the network. So the first swarm should be as general purpose as possible, because then we create a large set of tools and specialized competencies that can then be reused and reapplied towards new swarms, which makes their bootstrapping much faster and easier. What's more general than predicting the future? That requires to basically, from information gathering to structuring to sense making, a very wide spectrum of competencies around processing and aggregating information, which is something that will be relevant to almost any swarm. More specifically, we want to first focus on not just aggregating information to sort of make sense of it and predict the future, but to aggregate predictions themselves, because right now there's so much predictions being made, hundreds of thousands every day across social media and podcasts and many different sources. And many of those predictors have already made many predictions in the past on maybe the same subject or a different subject, and we can aggregate all of that to know exactly, okay, this guy is predicting that the Fed will raise rates. He has already predicted that 10 times in the past and like on different occasions, and he was always wrong, so we probably shouldn't pay attention to it. Or a different guy that says the Bitcoin price is gonna go up in the short term as a response to something, and actually that guy has a hit rate of like 90% on like 30 different occasions. So there are a lot of predictors around, and the data of how reliable they are in different contexts is openly available. It's just a matter of finding it all, aggregating it all, and then measuring it, computing on it, and assign like a contextual reputation score to predictors. And then we can use that to forecast the future. And there's a lot of, I think, cool products that can emerge from that. Like, for instance, you see your favorite Twitter account making a prediction on a topic, and you think, damn, this, if this is true, would be big if true. And then there could be a X bot that just comments under that exactly the accuracy that this profile had in the past on the same topic, which makes it a lot easier to interpret like all of the predictions that are made every day. That's the very initial focus. And then from there, we can further expand to gathering all kinds of information on different prediction questions and making sense of it. And ultimately, that is then going to serve as the foundation for the coming other swarms that like people are going to come up with. So yeah, maybe Samuel can talk more about the swarm.
Yes,
and
so for context.
Yourself as well.
Oh yeah, let me give you an introduction. I'm Timo Amaro. I'm a PhD student at University of Oxford. I work with Microsoft on multi-agent communication and collaboration. And as Timo said, I met the Torus folks at the ETH Oxford Hackathon. And from then, we started working together. And I'm in charge of the, let's say, the longer term version of the swarm. So, as Timo said, right now, a very short term thing we can do is just verifying the quality of predictions. But why do we care about that in the first place? Because stores are sources of information. We picked as a general area, in general, trying to predict events. And what we can do is that we aggregate information from various sources. So you have, and those can be, again, regular sources like news and social media sentiment and earnings reports and tax filings, etc. All the classic stuff, but also from people that are already doing analysis and doing predictions, and we can check the quality of those predictions. All of this information gathering, we can use it to gather new insight. And that's the idea. So we build these tools to check the quality of people making predictions. And then we feed that along with other information sources into a decentralized network that is capable of actually generating something useful. And by useful, we're mostly talking about insightful information regarding future events. So for instance, let's say that we want to know what the next AI, the best AI model will be 6 months from now. Obviously, we cannot predict the future, but you can have insight that can be something like, hey, keep in mind that Google hasn't released a new model, but they've been doing a lot of hiring and they're publishing some very great papers. So there's a good chance that they might be the ones. But also keep in mind that yada 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 yada. This is not just a simple prediction. It's not just us posting on social media, oh yeah, this model is going to be great. Oh yeah, this token is going to go up, whatever, etc. It's about giving the type of information that you'll only get from hiring an analyst to gather that information from you. And so we're working on designing this network. We're mostly focusing on the information collection side of things, while also trying to lay down the theoretical groundwork for the processing of the information. But yeah, in general, I'm very glad to be working on this. I think it's a very, like, even from a purely scientific point of view, it's a very interesting area. Like, can you beat large models with swarms? Can you create these networks and have them self-organize and still be able to beat top models? That's what we're trying to see here. We also want to gather information about how to actually incentivize this self-organization. So yeah, overall, very, very interesting stuff that I'm very glad to be part of.
Yeah.
And
Great.
Timo, you wanna move on?
Yep. So yeah, and yeah, we made the choice to focus this initial version on just yeah, basically aggregating predictions across as much of a diverse set of sources as possible. So not just from Twitter, Truth Social, and even Instagram, but podcasts, YouTube videos, TV shows, basically open market to find predictions anywhere. And yeah, measure their historical accuracy of the source in order to know for what context who you should pay attention to, because that's something that is like very accomplishable in a shorter time frame, and you can create cool products out of that, while the swarm as a whole is more of an experimental research project that is going to probably go on over 6 months or so. But yeah, the initial focus is to get to something that produces sort of usable value. So yeah, maybe the Swarm Sense guys are here. Do you want to present your approach and like give like a very general overview over what you've done?
Yeah, sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and share. Can I share my screen? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, Amit, do you want to start?
Generally, your presentation is not visible.
Oh, okay. Oh. Mhm. Okay. Now, do you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so basically we have made a brief presentation of what we are currently doing, and this presentation kind of resembles a presentation that we performed during the pitch night. So yeah, so let's start you with one of the important question, like the $1,000,000 question. What do you guys think whether Trump will be able to acquire Greenland or not? Like you can raise your hands or like raise your hand to like answer this question. Any opinions?
I don't know if we can actually raise our hands on this version of Discord.
No, like there's a button to like raise your hands or like notifications, or well, you
You
can
can just
unmute yourself.
write a
And, yeah.
message
Oh
in the
yeah,
chat.
we can do. My bad.
Hmm.
You
So
see
most
it?
of them are saying no. Well,
Okay.
that's what actually most of the polymarket people think. Like if you look at the polymarket graph, there is only 9% chance, basically only 9, according to the market, there's only 9% chance that Trump will be able to acquire Greenland in 2025. So you may ask why this kind of prediction matters. Well, prediction market like polymarket collect the opinions of many people about future events. These opinions are combined to create a crowd forecast, which can often be more accurate than the traditional polls. For example, if a lot of people believe a certain event will happen, the market price kinda reflects that belief. This helps journalists, policymakers, and others make better decisions because they can see what the crowd thinks will happen based on real bets and data. Basically, it helps investors to make money. So that's why we present a venture or our basically Torus idea that is called as Swarm Sense. So Swarm Sense is an autonomous AI agent designed to operate within Torus's agentic AI ecosystem. Now, to give you the technical details about the Swarm Sense, I would like to invite Genevra to do that.
Okay. So our Swarm Sense app is mainly divided in 3 parts. We have a task which involves finding prediction on a polymarket topic. So for example, you may want to ask who will win the presidential elections in 2024 in the US. And Swarm Sense will respond with like both implicit and explicit predictions. Then there's a second like aspect which involves building profiles for predictors based on all the predictions they made about a wide range of topics. So just by querying like an X handle, for example, of Elon Musk, you can get all their predictions and an analysis on their predictor profile. So maybe they make a lot of predictions about politics or about finance and etc. Then finally, there's a prediction verifier task, which involves which allows you to verify predictions. So basically, once the market resolves and you know whether a prediction is true or not, thanks to this functionality, you're able to verify whether a prediction is true, false, or uncertain, or maybe unresolved if you're asking about a prediction which is still in the future, right? And yeah, that's basically what you can do. Oh, I forgot. Thanks to this, you can also build a credibility score for predictor profiles based on how many of their predictions turned out to be true or false or uncertain. And the impact of this can be quite huge. So for example, if you are a trader, thanks to these predictions, you can like follow the best forecasters and the loudest voices. And you can turn like, as was mentioned before in the introduction, you can turn like unstructured data that is available on social media into like very structured data. And yeah, these are the target users. So if you are a polymarket trader, or if you're just a casual bettor, or if you're an investor or a journalist, this app can be very useful for you. Yeah, so makes sense with swarm sense. And
And
yeah, the show's
the
not over yet.
yeah, I will talk about that. So basically, as you can see, one of my favorite Bollywood stars used to say that picture abhi baki hai mere dost. That basically translates into the show is not over yet, my friend, because we still yet to give you the demo of our application. And to give you or present the demo of our application, I again want to invite Genevra to do that.
Okay. So yeah, this is the UI. Do you guys see the new tab? Amit, do you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a chatbot. Obviously, you won't use the UI within Torus.network, but you can try out the UI to see if it works. Yeah, you can type in a query in natural language about any of the 4 tasks that we are able to do. So, for example, will Trump acquire Greenland in 2025? That's the big question right now. And you get like several predictions with all the you get information about the likes, date, etc. And yeah, we're constantly working on trying to add like new functionalities and improve how this looks. Now, the second task is to build a profile, and you just have to ask build a profile for whoever you want to build a profile for, and you get an analysis on different topics and some sample predictions. And then yeah, there's task 3, verify prediction. Will Trump win presidential elections in 2024? What happened? And yeah, it's true. And you have some sources. So yeah, that's basically it. I think that that showed pretty much everything.
Yeah, thanks, guys and girls. So yeah, this is basically showing like 3 primary things, and that's finding all predictions given a question, finding all predictions given an account, and then verifying a prediction with a proof. And like while these are kind of like small components, together they compose to actually being able to calculate accurate contextual reputation score for an account in order to weight the different predictions on like a particular topic. And that in itself is, I think, very powerful, and like many systems can be built over that. So the initial market structure of the swarm is going to focus on those niches, basically trying to make them as accurate and as large of a coverage as possible. And yeah, I'm very curious personally to use the like the resulting output from that myself.
Yes. So yeah, just wanted to say we will be creating the agent today, so like stay tuned for like more updates on the channel.
Yep, and on top of that, we are also kinda roughly implemented the database system where basically whatever queries you put regarding to get the profile of a particular user, it will store all of the profile in a database. So next time when you like want to try to search the same user, it will just retrieve that user from the database. basically thus helping us to save an API call.
Yeah. So another thing that's related, not directly part of this, is finding the origin of information. So basically tracing some news or like some information back to its original source, which is like a recursive search process. So Nuna is here from the Origin team. They've won the hackathon track. Are you ready to present? Hey.
Yeah, let me share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, but it's sharing Discord.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm Yuri. I'm a PhD student at Imperial, and this is the Origin Source Finder agent. And essentially, you can basically kind of backtrack any original sources. For example, take an example of like the dire wolves, which were like sort of brought back to life, supposedly. You can take an article that you found online and then give it to the source finder agent. And you can ask it if it's an original source. So you can use like any article, it could be a blog post. And essentially it crawls the web and finds like all of the sources that it has mentioned, and it orders them chronologically and surfaces those relevant articles. And you can go ahead and like check the articles out, and yeah, those are all ordered in the order they were published.
Sorry, Nuna, you're actually showing your Discord window as opposed to the application itself.
Oh, okay, 1 second. Change stream. Sure. Okay. Should be the right window.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, so this is the interface. Essentially, you're crawling the web, you come across a source, and you want to check sort of the origin of that article. You can paste it in the chat interface, and it's a really simple sort of ChatGPT-like interface. And everything is in natural language. And what it's going to do is it's going to crawl the web and extract and surface the relevant articles and orders and surfaces them chronologically. So you can go ahead and check those sources out yourselves. So for this dire wolves article, you can see it's been published April 7th. And then the subsequent articles will be published later. And so it essentially uses multi-agent system. So you've got an agent sort of analyzing the user's intent. You've got an agent managing the tool calling process, and then like a critical agent to ensuring sort of the quality of the result. And then you've got this sort of self-feeding loop. So if the result isn't that great, like it's going to go through the process of web crawling or web searching again to find these sources. And yeah, that's about it. But it would, also, I wanted to talk about it should also display you sort of reputation and give you information about the person who's generating the source. So a Medium article by some unknown author would have like sort of a 0 rating just as a default. But if it's like a known publisher, then they would have like a higher rating just to sort of like help inform you on the quality of the source. But yeah, you can also, this is another example for investigating the Trump tariff topics as well. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thanks. And yeah, this is also going to be applicable towards the swarm, especially for verifying predictions and evaluating the credibility of a news source, etc. So next would be the Trump.fun guys, who have also done a great job. They've actually participated on all the 3 prediction tracks as well as the source finder. So yeah, go ahead.
Hey everybody, yeah, I'm just sharing my screen now. So we participated on pretty much every single track, and I'm going to demo what I can. We have a REST API that's going to be coming soon so that people can test it individually, but let me show you what we got. So our application for the Imperial Hackathon was Trump.fun. What it is it's a prediction market that's built entirely around Donald Trump. So in Trump.fun, you will have Donald Trump makes posts on Truth Social, and then we'll create prediction markets based off of his Truth Social post, and people can bet on them. We use AI for both the market generation and for the bet grading at the very end too. And all of the Torus agents that we do, most of them fit into the application in some way. So just really quick to clarify, should I only cover the source tracing, or can I go through all of our agent work right now?
No, go through all of them, and I would start with the prediction-related ones. Sure.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll start with the prediction-related ones then. So on Trump.fun, when we're the way that our fine prediction things works is that we use LLMs to generate queries to run against X's advanced search. We use a third-party API called Datura, which is much cheaper and much more friendly for reads on the X API. And then we have our AI agent go through it and assign a confidence score to how confident it is that a agent is how confident it is that the text of a given tweet contains a prediction, and how confident it is that that prediction relates to the topic that was passed. So right over here, Avnish, could you send a screenshot to the group chat of what you have on your side, just showing the output of what this looks like? We have a prediction for which features will be a part of the OpenAI's next release, and we're going to search Twitter, we're going to search the news, and we're going to search the web search with Tavily as well to find this. Avnish is going to give me a screenshot, and I'll show you what that output looks like. While he's doing that, though, I'll go ahead and I'll just briefly touch on the predictor profile as well. So the predictor profile, we're not currently using this actually in Trump.fun, but we want to eventually expand the app to support making prediction markets based on people in the Trump administration as well. And so what the predictor profile will do is, again, using a third-party X API, it'll go to that person's socials. In a different project, we also have Blue Sky support, but that's not currently on screen. Avnish, could you please post it in?
Yeah, just send it.
Yeah, thanks. Could you post it in the community chat?
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. So what this does is it goes through a person's tweets, and then it takes a look at which ones contain predictions per fine predictions, and then it takes a look at which ones turned out to be correct per our verified prediction step. And thanks, Avnish. Okay, then let me just show the. Okay, so just really quick, we were discussing this. This is what the output looks like from the find predictions. So you can see that you can't see the current text, but we were searching for things where OpenAI's features for the next release, and we have people who called out like O3, people who called out GPT 4.5, and the confidence that the text contains a prediction so that you can filter through and only have tweets that contain predictions. Okay, so then getting back to the verified prediction. What verified prediction does is it will go through X. It'll use News API to search for articles relevant to something. So here we have Trump's new tariffs on April 2nd, 2025. Avnish, could I get a screenshot for this one too, please? For Trump's tariffs on 2025. And it will analyze the tweets, assign a confidence score, and search that tweet against other news and context to determine if it was correct. I actually want to show a video on this. Let me make sure I have sound to show you where we're using it in Trump.fun. Thanks, Avnish. Before I get into that video, though, let me just briefly show what Avnish just sent over. All right. So this is what our output would look like. Prediction, Trump will implement new tariffs on April 2nd. Yes, turned out to be correct, 90% confident. And you can see that it searched all of these different news articles to be able to do this. And in a later iteration, it'll also be using the source tracer to drill into these to make sure that they're credible and that they weren't just opinion pieces. Okay, so then let me share my video just really briefly because I want to show where we're using this in Trump.fun. Can people please let me know in the chat if you can hear the system audio? Cannot remember if I shared it. Okay. Let's check.
People, America is winning again.
Is it coming through? Good. Okay.
Again. So what happened?
So this is where we're using the verify predictions. Trump is. Well, I'll let the video speak.
Let me tell you, we have another agent running, the bet grading agent they call it. This agent thing, they say it uses LangGraph too. It looks at all the betting pools and does deep research, digging deep to see if each pool can be closed. Nobody digs like this agent. It's like having 1,000 interns working for you, except they never complain. And you know the best part? Because I'm so famous, the fake news media is constantly reporting on everything I do. Well, except for those nasty people at AP. But these people, let me tell you, they're not smart like Trump. They don't know that what they do makes our agent work like magic. Because the fake news is constantly reporting on me. This bet grading agent is able to grade these bets almost immediately after I do something, faster and more accurate than anyone thought possible. Once it figures out the pool can be closed, it's done. Just like that, so simple. And if you made the right call, if you're smart, you'll see your balance go up. I love seeing Americans make money. That's what I do. I make people rich. Listen, folks,
So
we're wrapping up here.
just to highlight the key points of this, the reason why the verified predictions agent is so good for us is because there's almost no latency in the news cycle around Trump. I linked to the full video if anybody wants to watch it. There's almost no latency in news about Donald Trump. And so our verified prediction algorithm is actually uniquely correct because as soon as Trump does something, there's going to be multiple sources confirming that it's true. And it lets us grade bets in an incredibly accurate way. I'm sure that you've seen issues with like Polymarket having ambiguity on certain pools. We haven't had that problem as much with Trump.fun. So last, I'll just cover source tracing really quick. I've spoken about this a few times. Basically, the source tracing, you give it a URL. It'll use Firecrawl to scrape that URL and then give you markdown back that the LLM can understand. And it will try to evaluate whether or not the article that you're looking at is the original article. And if it thinks that it's not, then it will go and it will use Tavily to search for additional sources based on the text, going up to 3 layers deep until it finds the original article. So when you see something on X, if you want to see that it was credible, we use this to follow through and it factors into our verified prediction score. That's all I got. I realized that was a lot. Does anybody have any questions?
I think
Yeah.
it'd be really cool to share a bit about the vision you mentioned for Trump.fun in the future. like how you're going to develop it, how you're going to integrate it as an agent.
Yeah. So I think moving forward, our immediate next steps are going to be, and we should have this out there pretty soon. We're going to expose the agents through REST API so that people can call it, and provide transparency on the way that grading is happening. The way that we picture this working in the medium-term future would be, we want to chain these agents together and give you a composable workflow where, depending on your tolerance for spending API credits, you can start with like verified prediction, and you can do different levels of research on a topic depending on the confidence score that comes back from the initial grading of the contents of verified prediction. We think that it is possible, especially with Trump, to grade bets accurately with AI, which eliminates the administrative burden and lets us keep our team lean. We also want to improve the fine predictions to support multiple sources. Right now it's using X, but we want to also support, it's using X news articles and a simple web search, but we also want to support like Blue Sky and Farcaster and places where crypto influencers are especially. Because I think the numbers are the things that people care about the most, and we can do more to add sources there. So yeah, that's our plan for the near term future. But for Trump.fun though, generally, our MVP, we're going to be targeting a end of May launch for the original project. We will be using Torus as our back end for the bet grading, like I mentioned, and also to improve the text generation for markets. Use the fine prediction thing as well. So you should expect to see an integration and a live app towards the end of May on Solana.
Awesome. And are you already working with Truth Social data?
We are not working with True Social. Yeah, it's working with True Social currently. The agents work with True Social.
And how's the scraping there?
The scraping there uses the same trick that the ELIZA API uses. It uses the front end API to scrape it. So there's a like direct network access that we do.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we have proxies and stuff to avoid getting rate limited. We only scrape True Social once every single 5 minutes, and we have not run into any problems for the duration of this project with True Social.
Yep. I think there's a great symbiosis between your project and the Swarm. Like they can basically co-evolve while sharing the competencies. So yeah. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so we have actually had another Swarm that is in an earlier stage, where we also had one bounty where the idea is basically the Hyperliquid ecosystem has a lot of very valuable data, like all the positioning data of the traders and their history is open public. That's like completely unheard of in financial markets, and it's kind of a holy grail. Like there's so much research on how to predict the positioning of traders, like exactly where are the liquidation levels, what percentage of traders is short, and all of that data in Hyperliquid is public. And that changes the market as a whole. And there's going to be basically a period that is probably going to take more than a year for this asymmetry to be sort of eroded, and there's a large opportunity in making use of that data before like a lot of large firms have it super optimized. So the idea is to basically aggregate all of the Hyperliquid data and then also measure exactly what traders are how good at what particular trading style, and also correlate traders to news to detect insiders, and basically extract signal from the data, but do that with a open market mechanism where people are competing over it rather than having like one private decentralized system, meaning that the benefit is shared across the Swarm to those who contributed towards creating value from it. But yeah, this is in a much more conceptual stage. So, but yeah, the winner of this bounty is also here. Maybe you can go ahead and walk us through your approach.
Okay, perfect. Hey guys, give me a second. Let me share my screen. Okay, perfect. Can you see that real quick?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll briefly start with a quick intro of just the slide deck that I presented on the hackathon. So yeah, HyperInsight is basically an AI agent swarm that will congregate and aggregate all the data from Hyperliquid and give you guys like essentially the best insights from all the top traders. So just kind of a brief example is, let's get this, is like, you know, a couple months back we had this kind of Trump insider, where the whole market was long, went $200 million short with 40x leverage, and you know all of CT's crypto Twitter thought it was crazy. But yeah, you know that short eventually panned out. With, you know, that trader earning 30 million or something. And those kind of things are very strange. Like you would want to pay attention to those. So that kind of birthed the kind of inspiration of, hey, why don't we have a platform in which you could see that in real time almost, and if there's something that's very strange or there's something that's catered towards your trading style, you can make use of that information. So yeah, that kind of birthed this kind of hyper insight. So yeah, hyper insight currently is kind of in this POC stage, in which we have a couple agents. One is the trader behavior. The one is getting performance metrics. One is getting sentiment analysis of different markets. So this includes Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, and a couple others. So it'll grab sentiment for each token, and then Hyperliquid also has these vaults that come in. So Hyperliquid vaults is essentially their market making tool and how they earn money. And the vaults do various amount of things to gain revenue, right? So that vault information is very useful and can be utilized with whatever trading style you'd want to have to make as much money as possible. Custom alerts is also a big one that's not implemented yet, but it's something I really want to pay attention to in the future. So yeah, this is just a quick demo. The PLC is actually live right now, but there are a couple problems in the back end. Yeah, it's essentially you can kind of see every trader, see their kind of global bias, their current positions, and this is basically in real time. And with the power of the agent, right, you can kind of paste in the address, check how it's doing. What's it? Global the position bias and the positions, and eventually it'll return. Yeah, it'll basically return all that information for you. Again, similarly, we can kind of do the thing. It's cool that it can compare, because it's got 10,000 traders data. It can compare that data, the position data, with the rest of the traders on the market. So that's something else you can also do with it right now. And if you want to know the sentiment, this will give you the sentiment across various amount of platforms. And then the vaults in general. So that's currently kind of what we have. I'll escape this, and then just kind of a brief overview of the infrastructure. Again, this is high level. There's a lot more that goes into this. So yeah, we do use a front end agent right now. That's kind of acts as the agent for you guys to interact with. And the API is also extremely useful. So especially specifically on Torus, we realized that other agents or other users may want to use the API specifically and not the front end, because it has so much data that's aggregated and already pre-analyzed for you. So that is definitely an opportunity for other agents to come in, use the data that we've been collecting and continuously collect. And we schedule all these data services to constantly pick up the data, and which is cache because of generally how difficult it is to how much data there is and what ones are useful. One big thing that kind of that our agent does is that within the top, 10,000 traders, there's a lot of high frequency ones, and getting rid of those is a big thing. So if you can figure out which ones are the high frequency traders and get rid of them, what you have is just the kind of the manual traders that are following a specific strategy, and you can use that however you want. So yeah, we have the API docs online and everything. So if you guys want to test that out, I'm doing a couple before it's fully production ready. I'm doing a couple extra tests on it. It is currently down, so I just double check before this. And yeah, if you guys want to see kind of code's completely open source, so if you want to contribute or see how to run it yourself, just there's a GitHub link. So yeah, are there any other questions?
I think it'd be interesting to know, because we're planning on working with the team at Block Liquidity, who have been scraping a bunch of Hyperliquid data for quite a few months now and have a big warehouse of data. What would you kind of do to expand the project, given more data streams, given the power to kind of delegate builders? What's the kind of more additional levers that can be pulled to really make this a powerful tool?
Yeah, so what's really cool about them is that currently, there is a slight bottleneck within the data service, that the APIs that I'm using, right? So I only get the past 2,000 orders, which isn't the best. It can be expanded, and I know some people are running validators which have access to more data, pretty much the entire history. So using that, you can actually specifically analyze imagine one trader is doing really well. You can actually specifically analyze and figure out what trading strategy they use specifically, and not just have it be generic. That alongside having I know there is having historical data and historical traders are doing this in this kind of regime, and as different regimes come along, you want to say, okay, historically people have done that, let's do the same thing now. And if the agent picks up on that, that's definitely something you can use to your advantage. So those are just kind of two examples, but obviously the more data there is, the better. In general, if you can contain and get rid of the outliers and any kind of data that's not really useful at all. So that's just two examples of what we can do to just really open up the platform. But I really want to focus on kind of allowing users to customize it the way they want and perfect their own trading style.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm personally pretty excited about seeing this swarm come to form. It's probably going to be the second one after the prediction swarm, and of course there will also be overlap between them, like the information gathering competencies of the prediction swarm can be used to gather ecosystem data, social media data, and even predictions on Hyperliquid. But yeah, I think this is also a great fit as a swarm, like having a open market competition around it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We'll do another community call soon to dive into more detail on the prediction swarm and also engage the community around it a bit. Like we'll be looking for feedback and ideas, etc. Oh yeah, there's one more guy here, Dat, who has created an agent that is unrelated to those swarms, but yeah, I think it's a cool concept. So yeah, if you want, you can go ahead and also go over it.
That's part of a research team who are trialing kind of environmental studies, and he reached out completely organically, like to the network, wanting to build on it, wanting MVP validation, wanting a kind of first stream of users and people to build on the project. And I think it's really cool that we've been putting a lot of effort into these boots on the ground events, but we're also getting purely organic registration. We had the same with the fluid dynamics agent that's just been proposed with like a CFD that can do complex fluid dynamic simulations, and like that's completely out of the blue. So I think it'd be interesting to hear as well, like from the benefits that Torus can give to builders, and also from the people who participate in the hackathons, like how we can help them do that. But yeah, let's hear from Dat.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we
Mhm.
can.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just share my screen. Let me know if you can see it or not. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, consider Discord.
Okay, so
Consider presentation.
I'm Dad from TJ. So we are basically working on the sustainability side and on the carbon offset and carbon emission side. So we are not from the hackathon. We basically find out about the Torus from the Twitter side mostly, and from the YouTube side as well. So yeah, talking about the project, so we are working on the environmental side, sustainability side. You can talking about the PDF side, like yeah, so carbon emission is rising, and someone has to do on the climate change side, right? So we are basically creating a chain of network or a chain of agents, multiple agents, multiple applications, so to help out the environment or to help the carbon emission, to reduce the carbon emission basically. So if you look at the climate crisis side, so there are a lot of event that has been currently happening, and there's a need of disruption, right? And so we believe sustainability is not a necessity; it's a key to better future for the planet. So we are basically trying to promote the sustainable effort as well from one of our agent, and yeah. So if you look at our first agent, so we have been working with the community side and the official side as well. So people and the officials have been using the application. Basically, a community member can submit a report, and we can track a report, and the official kind of resolve that. So one of the agent side we are working, and another is another is uh, like an agent, but it basically helps you to calculate the carbon emission side or carbon footprint side. You can just explore about you can basically learn about the carbon footprint and about the waste management side as well. So you can ask the agent about anything you want to know about the carbon footprint. Also, you can calculate your carbon footprint, and we are actually working on this as well. So you can learn more about it as well, right? So the higher goal is to create um, a tradable carbon, so that people can trade their carbon offset. So if you look at the if you look at the environmental side, the industry or anything that produce carbon, that has to be uh, reduced, or they have to also work on that side, so that to reduce their carbon footprint, right? So we are basically working toward that, so people can or people or industry can basically buy the credits, and they can integrate on their side, and they can claim that they have um, they have work on, or they have uh, basically they buy the footprint, right? The carbon credits. So we are basically working on that side, And yeah, so if you look at the trade market, it is quite big market, like almost multi-billion or almost trillion-dollar market. So these are our competitors and our USP. We will be basically rewarding. We will try to reward the people who work on that side. And like if you look at our phase one, phase two, our roadmap, we have launched our platform, and we have also launched our agents, and we are working with the real community and real NGOs and INGOs. Basically, we are working with the community side or the like local officials for now. And yeah, so also we will be creating proposal, and we will be doing it after the events get over. So yeah, basically I encourage everyone to look to the design or like ask anything you want to ask or suggest us so that we can get more users. Basically, we choose the Torus so that we can get organic users and organic suggestions so that we can make the platform much better. And we are a team of 4 people, so there are people with a good research background as well. We have been researching on the community waste side as well. So we are working on the ground level, from the ground level to big industry level. So yeah, that's our teaching.
Thanks so much, Dat, for presenting, especially on such short notice. And like just touching on what you're saying at the end, like for all the hackathon participants and all the people who are watching this call, but all these agents will be registered on the network, and you'll be able to allocate them, allocate your stake to them.
Yeah.
So I'd really encourage you to like check out the endpoints and the front ends that people have made, and if you think they're cool, if you know you are the free market, you have the power to decide, allocate them and reward them for their efforts. Give them a message in the Discord or privately with some feedback, or if you're really into it, offer to collaborate or compete on the project, because that's what builders want, and that's what builders can get out of being on the Torus network.
Yeah, so basically we are very open for the collaboration as well, and for the suggestion side as well. If you think any agent that will be useful toward the community, then they're always there to build something. So yeah, and also we'll be like making the proposal. So I encourage everyone to support us and give us the feedback. So we can work on the mission, do something better.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, it will be crucial to find a way to return value back to the network, like for getting emissions. Mute that guy. Yeah. So yeah, if you can find a way that effectively feeds value back to the network, then I think the project can be successful. Once the project is much larger and there's sort of more abundance in the ecosystem, then yeah, the protocol can be more charitable and like fund initiatives that are not necessarily driving direct value back to the network, but perhaps the world. But yeah, I think that's it for this call. As I said, we'll do another community call to go over the prediction swarm in more detail and invite the community to contribute. Thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, I think things will start moving like on the public side faster once the v0.5 is out, which enables the first swarms. And yeah, I'm looking very forward to that. It has been yeah, a bit of a for the public less engaging phase over the past few months. So yeah, hope everyone is hanging in there, and yep, have a nice day, and see you.
Omni Labs provide tutorials, podcasts, and AI crypto news for free. Please help us to keep helping you by weighting your stake to our agent. Thanks. See you next time.